Comparative and Superlative Adjectives, grammar lesson for advanced learners. Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Zenebe and this is English for Africa. Today's video lesson I'm going to share with you the uses, grammatical and spelling rules of comparative and superlative adjectives with brief examples. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and of course start by hitting that like button. So let's start. We start with the meaning of comparatives and superlatives. So we can use comparatives to compare things and superlatives to say which thing is top in a group. Let's see some examples. Cats are faster than mice. Science is more difficult than maths. So when you talk about how we can use them, this is so easy to make comparative or superlative adjectives. The first thing we need to do is we need to know how many syllables are in the adjective. So the rule applies with the syllables. For instance, tall, we have one syllable here in this word or adjective. Happy, we have two syllables. Interestingly, we have 5 syllables here. So based on this, the rule applies. Let's see the rules one by one. First, we're going to see one syllable and two syllable adjectives ending in Y. So what the rule says, let's see them one by one. So first, most one syllable adjectives, they take ER or EST at the end. For example, fast, when we make it comparative, it becomes faster. And when we make it superlative, it becomes the fastest. And there are some adjectives that are ending in E, the letter E. So for this type of adjectives, we just add R or ST at the end. So it means, for example, the adjective fine becomes finer if it is a comparative, and the finest if it becomes superlative. Adjectives ending in consonant plus vowel plus consonant, what we do is we double the final consonant and then we add ER or EST. For example, fat, as you have seen it on the screen, it is CVC. So what we do is if we want to make comparative, we add T and then ER is added. When you make it superlative, the same thing applies, the fastest. Another example, big becomes bigger, the biggest. And again, there are adjectives that end with Y letters. So what you do here is you're going to read off the Y and you change them to IER or IEST. For example, the adjective tasty becomes tastier if it's a comparative. When you want to make it superlative, it becomes the tastiest. And there are irregular adjectives which are given below. Good becomes better, the best. Bad becomes worse, the worst. This type of adjectives, they have irregular form. Therefore what you need to do is just have to study them in your heart. That is the rules. There is no specific rules that you can talk about them. We're going to talk about this later. Second section, we are going to see other two-syllable adjectives and longer adjectives. So most two-syllable adjectives and adjectives with 3 or more syllables, they take more or most plus the adjective. So they come at the beginning. For example, beautiful becomes more beautiful, and when you make it superlative, it becomes the most beautiful. Another example, generous, it becomes more generous, and for superlative form, it becomes the most generous. So one thing you need to remember here is that there are some two-syllable adjectives where we can use ER and EST. For example, clever becomes clever, cleverest. Quiet becomes quieter, quietest. Simple becomes simpler, simplest. Gentle becomes gentler, gentlest. Friendly can be friendlier and friendliest. So these are some of the exceptions that you need to know. In the third section, we are going to see irregular forms. So the adjectives good, bad, and far have special forms because they are regular adjectives. So as I've said earlier, you need to study them in your heart and memorize them. Good becomes better, the best. Bad becomes worse, the worst. Far becomes farther, the farthest. Some of the examples are these ones, and you can have your own reference at the end. In the section 4, you are going to see prepositions in comparative phrases. But firstly, let's see what prepositional phrases are. So prepositional phrases can modify nouns, verbs, phrases, and complete clauses, as you know. So in this example, for example, Kananisa Bakkala is the runner with the fastest time. We have with, the preposition, and the whole involved is a prepositional phrase. So when we use them in such a way, they become adjective phrases because they modify a noun. So in this sentence, it's likely there are other runners who are slower, as the sentence is specifying who's the fastest. So the phrase is modifying or describing the noun runner. So prepositional phrases or adjectival phrases come directly after the nouns they modify. The space, the place or the position is what many people make a mistake, so have this in mind. Let's take more examples. If the shorter person in the room, I think he's more handsome than Samson. They look like lawyers. Simon is the same height as me. Pakistani food is different from Indian food. The last section, we're gonna see making comparison with nouns. So we have a rule here. We can compare nouns by using more and the most. So our rule is we use more or the most plus noun phrase to make a comparison. Let's take the examples. Footballers earn more money than other sportsmen. Sadio Mane is more skillful than Ronaldo. Lem has visited the most times. So this is how we can compare nouns in a sentence. And this will take us to the end of our today's video. I hope you have loved this video, a short one and brief. If you do have any questions, something unclear, you can write it down under the comment section of the video. And don't forget to like and share, and of course subscribe to the channel for more regular videos. I'm going to see you soon. Bye bye for today.